Welcome back to the Live Life to the Fullest program. This is week 2 of our series, and we'll be focusing on mental health strategies.
Occupational therapists in cancer care are uniquely skilled to help others live life to the fullest by providing interventions to address the physical, cognitive, and emotional difficulties an individual faces throughout the cancer care continuum. Relating specifically to this week's focus, occupational therapists and mental health collaborate with individuals facing emotional and social distress in medical and community settings. Through education and strategy training, occupational therapists empower individuals to re-engage in meaningful daily activities and gain greater independence in their life. There are many meaningful activities or occupations that rely on good mental health to perform. For me, being a student, being a daughter, and sleeping are meaningful occupations that can be either positively or negatively impacted by my current mental health. So that is why this is a strong focus throughout our program. During this session, we will start with education on mental health areas affected by cancer, discuss strategies to improve these areas, and we will end with behavioral activation goal-setting chart. Despite cancer being more commonly known for its physical side effects on mental health can be just as impactful to your daily living. The first area I'm going to discuss is cancer-related cognitive changes, aka chemo brain. These are limitations in memory, attention, information processing speed, and organization. Experiencing chemo brain can result in difficulties with daily activities, including remembering important dates and information, focusing on a task, organizing your thoughts, locating items, and requiring more time to process information. Mental health also includes intimacy and sexual activity changes. Feelings of fear, fatigue, depression, and shame are unfortunately common after a cancer diagnosis. Changes in self-esteem, sexuality, and body image may affect a person's participation in comfort and intimacy. Next, role changes, which are potential disruptions to or loss of your identity that may affect your habits, roles, and daily routine. With the addition of cancer treatments, appointments, and other life changes, it is important to adjust to these new or different roles of your life. Stress and coping. A cancer diagnosis places mental, physical, and emotional pressure on you and your loved ones. Stress can limit your ability to manage or cope with life's difficulties, no matter how small or large they may seem. Cancer-related fatigue. Feelings of extreme fatigue are common when dealing with cancer-related procedures, treatments, and symptoms. Resting or napping does not improve symptoms of fatigue, which often lasts longer than normal and interfere with participation in your daily routine. And sleep. Cancer side effects, high levels of stress, and changes in your routine and roles can negatively impact your ability to have a full night of restful sleep. Poor sleep can initiate a vicious cycle of insomnia that leads to poor habits and further difficulty sleeping.
Next, we are going to go over what you can do to help improve your mental health and overcome the cancer-related challenges just mentioned. The first area of mental health that we want to address is sleep, because we spend a big portion of our life sleeping, and it is essential for one's health and well-being. Practicing good sleep hygiene by incorporating the following habits into your routine will be beneficial to getting a full night of restful sleep. First is to have a regular routine. One of the best ways to train your body to sleep well is to go to bed and get up at more or less the same time every day, even on the weekends. The second strategy is to only use your bed for sleeping and sexual intimacy, so that your body comes to associate your bed with sleep. It is also important that your bed and bedroom are quiet and comfortable for sleeping. A cooler room with enough blankets to stay warm is best, and if needed, you can use an eye mask to block out light or earplugs if there is noise outside of your room. Another strategy is to only go to bed when you feel sleepy, rather than spending too much time awake in bed. Remember that feeling tired and sleepy are not the same thing. You also want to avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine for at least 4 to 6 hours before going to bed. Caffeine and nicotine can act as stimulants and interfere with your ability to fall asleep. And why many people believe that alcohol is relaxing and helps them to fall asleep at first, it actually will disrupt the quality of sleep later in the sleep cycle. Also, try to avoid naps throughout your day. This helps to ensure that you are tired at bedtime. If you cannot make it through the day without a nap, then try to take a nap for less than an hour and before 3 p.m. The last tip is to avoid screens at least an hour before bedtime. Electronic devices such as your TV, computer, and cell phones emit blue light, which is known to suppress melatonin, a hormone in the body that promotes sleep, which causes our natural sleep cycle to get off balance. Next, we want to talk about nutrition and hydration, which is obtaining the daily amount of food and water necessary for health and recovery. Eating and drinking well can help you cope with the side effects from treatments. Some strategies for this include trying new foods. Treatment may have changed your tastes and preferences. Some food you never liked before might taste good to you during or after treatment. Consider substituting plant-based foods in place of meat a few meals each week. Also try to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables each day. Colorful fruits and vegetables have many natural health-promoting substances. The next tip is meal prepping. Eating healthy food is easier when you plan your meals and snack out and prepare them ahead of time. This includes cooking whole meals over the weekend and freezing them, or preparing your ingredients and snacks ahead of time so it's easier for you to quickly prepare a meal. Avoid grocery shopping when you are hungry, which is a good tip for me as well. People tend to navigate toward unhealthy, high-calorie food options at the store when they're hungry, so try to avoid this if you can. The last tip is to keep a reusable water bottle with you at all times to sip on throughout your day. Try to make a habit of drinking 1 glass of water before each meal because this is a good way to make sure you stay hydrated. And if you do not enjoy the taste of water, try flavoring it with fruits like lemon or strawberry or herbs like mint and basil. All right, moving on to some physical and mental strategies. In addition to sleep and nutrition, it's important to note the value of taking time for yourself and participate in physically and mentally stimulating activities. First, we will talk about some physical strategies to help improve fatigue and stress throughout your day. These strategies are setting a routine to encourage yourself to get up and move, completing a home exercise program, participating in physical activities you enjoy. Please note that participating in daily activities like doing laundry, cooking, or gardening can promote those areas of physical wellness. You can also use the energy conservation techniques discussed in Skills to Improve Movement for Health and Wellness to help you with this. The last strategy is to engage in meditation and other relaxation techniques, which we'll go over in the next slides. And then we are going to talk about mental strategies. So if you are experiencing chemo brain and its effects that were previously mentioned, these strategies will be great for you. The first one is to use memory aids during activities that require you to remember and recall information. For example, making a list of daily tasks you need to complete, using calendars for appointments, setting reminders on your phone, using a pill box for your medication to help you remember whether you have taken your medication that day. All of those are examples of the memory aids that you can use. The next strategy is to focus on just one task at a time. Avoid multitasking and distractions because that could add on to your cognitive overload. Reflect on your day and how you feel. Write down, talk to a friend, take a moment for yourself to think. This can help you determine if what you are doing is working and helps remind you of any concerns you want to bring up to your healthcare provider the next time you see them.
So now let's talk about some relaxation techniques. Mindfulness meditation is teaching yourself to be present throughout your day and aware of the way you think and feel. You don't have to be sitting in a dark room with candles lit and going, Just make sure you're aware of your thoughts and feelings. Some strategies include observing your thoughts and feelings and accept them as they are, trying not to be self-critical. Participating in moments of mindfulness throughout your day, such as waiting in a line, on an elevator, or sitting in traffic. And lastly, starting off small and increasing those moments of mindfulness. Deep breathing is taking long and purposeful breaths, especially during exercise or as a way to relax yourself. This can go along with mindfulness and being aware of the breaths you are taking. Some strategies include pursed lip breathing, which is when you inhale through your nose for 2 seconds and out through your mouth for 4 seconds while pursing your lips. Also, slowly trying to increase how long you inhale and exhale as it becomes more comfortable. Use belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing by placing one hand on your stomach and trying to deeply inhale so your stomach rises and falls with your breath. This is a way of being aware of how deeply you are breathing. Visualization is a technique that involves focusing on a mental image to create a more relaxed state of mind. I love the beach and ocean, so I always try to picture the beach or listen to the waves crashing. You can also imagine yourself being able to accomplish your goals or challenging tasks. So let's say you have this really challenging task that you need to complete, like folding that basket of laundry that's been sitting on the bed all day. Try to imagine accomplishing it. Imagine all those clothes already folded, hung up, and put back. The visualization can give you the motivation you need to complete the task. Participate in moments of visualization throughout your day, like when you're waiting in a line, on an elevator, sitting in traffic, in between alarm clock snoozes while laying in bed in the morning. Yoga is a physical, mental, and spiritual practice to improve the mind-body connection. And I know when people hear yoga, they're immediately like, oh, that's not for me. I'm not flexible. It's way too difficult, because I'm the exact same way. But it's not all about your flexibility. It's about that mind-body connection. So some strategies for this are to participate in a local yoga class or watch online videos. Gentle movement is a great resource through the Cancer Caring Center. And then online, there are so many beginner videos, intermediate videos, you name it, it's online. Take it slow and do positions that feel good for your body in the moment. Remember, you don't want to push past the pain. Use relaxing yoga positions in moments of stress, such as child's pose, where you crouch on the floor in fetal position with your face down, sitting cross-legged, mountain pose, which is standing upright with your hands in a prayer position, and happy baby pose, which was when you lay on your back on the floor and hold your feet up in the air. Remember, yoga can be practiced anywhere. It's okay if you do not have the proper equipment. Tai Chi is a form of martial arts that involves very slow and controlled movements. Some strategies are to, just like yoga, participate in a local Tai Chi class or watch online videos. Listen to your body and simplify as needed. And lastly, Tai Chi can be practiced anywhere. It does not require special equipment. I wanted to provide some examples too, because I do not always want to stop what I'm doing, get up, get down on the floor, do these crazy poses. So here are a couple examples of things you can do in your chair while sitting at your desk, sitting on your couch, sitting at the edge of your bed in the morning. The most important thing to remember is to use slow and controlled movements. You don't have to rush through these. It's about the mind-body connection. I love to scoot my chair back from my computer, focus my brain on how I'm feeling in the moment, try not to think about the work in front of me, and do some of these poses, and really connect my mind to my body. Then after a few minutes, back to reality and back to work. So just to go through a couple of these, like the chair raised hand pose, stretching my arms up as far as I'm able to. Maybe if I have an arm that doesn't go up that high, I can help it with my other, and staying in this pose for a few seconds. I can then transition into the seated crescent moon pose and lean side to side. Try not to sway, but rather hold it to one side for a few seconds, then switch to the other. This also helps to address balance. This is a great pose for that. And if you feel like you need a little more support, maybe try it in a chair that has armrests. Intimacy and sexual activity are really, really important. A loving, affectionate relationship with another person, or even yourself, can be extremely beneficial for your mental health. Intimacy does not only have to mean sexuality, but can also include feelings of being supported, cared for, and connected with another person or group of people. With intimacy comes less stress, better sleep, and more relaxation to lead to a happier you. Sexual intimacy, hugs, and kisses release feel-good hormones that give you a natural high, feeling of closeness, and a release of tension. Give yourself or someone else a big hug if you're looking for an easy way to improve your mental and physical health. Some strategies for intimacy and sexual activity include exploring positions that enhance comfort. You know your body the best. Communicate with your partner what positions are comfortable or uncomfortable. You want to enjoy this time. If you have some pain on your left side, try leaning on your right side or using a pillow. Explore products for sexual wellness. Use lubrication. Talk to your doctor about medications for erectile dysfunction or low libido. And explore personal pleasure devices. You don't need a partner to release those feel-good hormones. Also, practice safe sex. Refer to the skills to improve movement for health and wellness presentation for information to improve your strength and mobility. And practice asking people out. If you don't have a partner, go to a friend, a sibling, or the mirror and practice what you're going to say. It will build your confidence. And then utilize energy conservation techniques. You know your body best for this. Also, using intimacy in place of sexual intercourse. The 5 love languages include words of affirmation, gift giving, physical touch, acts of service, and quality time. All of these release those feel-good hormones and benefit your mental health. Let's transition into some coping methods. This means taking action against stressful or unpleasant situations. Coping may also include modifying your reaction to the situation. Cognitive behavioral therapy principles. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a coping strategy to help you understand the ways you think and behave by recognizing and changing negative or hurtful thought patterns that are overwhelming. It is really important to note that cognitive behavioral therapy should only be performed with a licensed professional. Wendy and other therapy services through the Cancer Caring Center are a great resource for this. What we are going to talk about are just some of those basic principles. So the strategies include, first, recognizing the negative thoughts or emotions you may have. Second, writing down or reflecting on those negative thoughts. Last, challenging your thinking and the triggers that cause these emotions. Again, it is really important to note to work with a licensed professional to assist in reshaping your negative thoughts or emotions. And we will go over an example of this on the next slide to get a better understanding. Decreasing stress in general is a coping method. So some strategies for this: stay active with your mind and body, so exercise and meditation. Find or maintain meaningful hobbies, which is what we will talk about in another presentation of ours. Add humor to your everyday life. So I love a good joke. So what did the yoga instructor say when her landlord tried to evict her? Namaste. Self-care, get a massage or take a bubble bath, and then share your feelings in a journal. I am not a pen and paper type gal, so I have a note in my phone that I can type or talk into when I want to share my feelings. And then lastly, finding support from others. So some strategies for this are sharing feelings with a trusted individual, going to support groups. Again, we love the Cancer Caring Center. They're a great resource with many different and specific support groups. And don't be afraid to ask for help. People are usually willing to help. They just need to be told specifically what to do.
So let's practice using some of the cognitive behavioral therapy principles we just talked about. Someone going through cancer treatment may have the following negative thought: I absolutely cannot stand going to chemotherapy anymore. Negative feelings like this may make you feel anxious, fearful, or angry the next time you go to treatment. This could cause negative effects on your life, such as a loss of sleep, nausea, feelings of distress, or irritability towards others. By recognizing, reflecting, and working to reshape this negative thought, you may be able to find a more helpful way to look at the situation that would cause significantly less stress, such as, I know that chemotherapy makes me feel sick, but I know this is only temporary, and I share this experience with other survivors. If I think I might skip another treatment, I have my friends at the Cancer Caring Center that I can talk to in the support group on Wednesday. You cannot always control the way cancer affects your life, but you can control the way you think about it. It is okay to have negative thoughts and feelings, but it is also important to utilize strategies such as cognitive behavioral therapy to help you live your life to the fullest. Take a moment to think to yourself now, if you have had a negative thought recently, how can you reframe this negative thought? If you are unable to maintain your typical habits, routines, and roles, it may help you feel a sense of independence and regularity. We do realize that cancer can change the way you're able to participate in habits, routines, and roles, so it's okay if you need to modify or develop new ways to do things in order to participate in meaningful activities. Habits are behaviors we automatically do without much thought, such as always putting your keys in the same bowl when you get home or looking both ways every time you cross the street. Strategies to maintain your habits are to put items in a familiar place so they are easy to find. Always turn off the stove or other appliances once you are done using them, and use pill organizers and reminders to manage medications. Routines are regular and repetitive sets of activities that give structure to a person's day, such as always getting ready in the same order or walking your pet around the same time. Strategies to maintain your daily routines are to create and follow a set morning and night hygiene routine. Create a plan for your day, make a list of the things you need before going shopping, and to follow the typical steps that you would usually take when preparing and cooking a meal. Roles make up a personal identity that is shaped by culture, surroundings, and loved ones. Strategies to maintain your roles are to FaceTime your family members, like your kids from the hospital, to maintain your parental role, participate in virtual social events in your community, volunteer at a local organization, and to advocate to your employers for work accommodations.
So now that we've learned some mental health strategies and skills, we're going to put it into practice. We would like you to take a few moments for a little mental break. I'm going to play a short 3-minute meditation recording that is free to access from an app called Headspace. So if you would like, find a comfortable position and let's get started.
Hi, over the next 10 sessions, I'm going to show you a really simple way of getting some more headspace in your life. Don't worry if you've never done anything like this before. This is a really straightforward technique, and I'm going to talk you through every step of the way. But all you need to do right now is to sit back and relax. So make sure that you're sitting comfortably. I'd actually like you to begin with your eyes open and just taking a big deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, just feeling the lungs expand as they fill with air. And as you breathe out, just feeling the body soften a little bit as you gently close the eyes. And you can just allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm, in and out of the nose. And as you pause for a moment, just noticing the feeling of the body, the weight of the body pressing down against the seat beneath you. Contact of the feet on the floor, the hands and the arms on the legs. Noticing any sounds around you. And as you pause, just noticing how the body feels. Starting to notice how the body's breathing, that movement of breath in the body. So some people feel it in the stomach. For others, it's in the chest or around the diaphragm. Not breathing in any special way. We're just starting to notice that rising and falling sensation. If you can't feel anything, just gently placing your hand on the stomach. Now, as you follow that movement, the mind will wander away, almost inevitably. No problem if it does, perfectly natural. But as soon as you realize it's wandered, just acknowledging that, letting it go, and just coming back again to that rising and falling sensation. And then just for a moment now, letting go of any focus on the breath, just letting the mind do whatever it wants, just for a few seconds. If it wants to think, let it think. And then bringing the attention back to the body, back to that feeling of contact, back to any sounds around you. And you can just gently open your eyes in your own time. So how does it feel having taken a few minutes out of the day? Does the body feel any different? Does the mind feel any different? Don't worry if there's still lots of thoughts running around. That's perfectly normal. Remember, this is a skill we're learning, and it takes a little bit of time. But before you do jump up, before you get on with things, just take a few moments just to appreciate that feeling, to really acknowledge what it's like to take some time out, to allow the body and the mind to unwind.
So next, we'd like you to take a few moments to reflect on the questions that were asked. How did you feel? Was it easy or challenging? And did you find yourself getting anxious or impatient at any moment? I know when I first began practicing meditation, my mind would tend to focus on everything I needed to get done that day, so I would be impatient to hurry and finish my meditation session. Because of this, I tried starting off with really small sessions that were only 1 to 2 minutes long and slowly increased my time from there. If you find yourself feeling similarly, you may try to set this as a goal for yourself, as well as slowly increase the amount of time you dedicate to meditation as you feel more comfortable with it. Just remember that meditation looks different for everyone. There are many different types of meditation practices, and some may work better for you compared to others, so it's not one size fits all. The core principles remain the same, which is to try and focus your attention on the present and just observe your internal and external state. That can mean focusing inward and paying attention to your breath, doing a body scan, watching your thoughts pass by, or even focusing on all the different sensations you experience while eating a meal, such as noticing how it tastes, smells, or feels in your mouth. It can also mean focusing your attention on your actions, like each individual step you take while walking, or what you see or observe in your environment. If you're just getting started with meditation and want more structured sessions, there are many resources online on sites like YouTube or many free meditation apps you can download, such as the Headspace app we've listened to today. We're going to get back into our presentation now, and next we'll go over some behavioral activation. but I hope everyone enjoyed taking a small moment for themselves in this meditation session.
We're going to wrap up today's session taking action with behavioral activation. As a reminder, occupational therapy behavioral activation is a set of strategies supported by research that helps to improve one's mood, energy, and engagement in daily life. This process involves creating a specific and realistic goal, scheduling it into your week's calendar, and at the end of the week, checking your progress for any changes that may need to be made. For the example this week, I want to improve my mental health by focusing on my quality of sleep. I normally sleep 5 hours, so I'm going to make my goal to sleep at least 7 hours a night. When thinking about how I'm going to achieve this, I reflected that I have difficulty falling asleep because of my pain and discomfort, and my mind races about my worries. So 2 solutions that may help improve my sleep are to take my pain medications at a time that would allow me enough comfort to fall asleep and stay asleep throughout the night. However, I am going to talk with my doctor first so that I make sure I continue taking them as prescribed. My second solution is that I'm going to relax in bed 15 minutes before I plan to fall asleep so that I can calm my mind. Therefore, as I schedule it into my routine, I want to include these solutions as well as considering time. I always am an early riser, usually waking up at 6 a.m. at the earliest. To get at least 7 hours of sleep, I need to be in bed no later than 11 p.m. to get my full 7 hours of sleep. However, I said at least 7 hours, but I would like to get more. So I think it would be realistic for me to aim to go to sleep at 10 p.m. Also, my pain medications typically start providing me relief within 30 minutes. This means that I'm going to make my goal to set a reminder on my phone to take pain medications at 9:30. At 9:45, relax in bed before falling asleep at 10 p.m. After a week, I will come back to this chart onto the right side to check my progress. Let's say that the strategy with my pain medications worked for comfort so that when I fell asleep, I stayed asleep. But I still couldn't fall asleep right away and was only getting an average of 6 hours of sleep. So first I would select no, my plan did not work. To explain why, I would say that because my mind was racing and I could not get myself to relax. Therefore, I'm going to continue doing what worked, which means I will continue setting a reminder to take my pain medications at 9:30 and will now add to download the app Headspace to practice mindfulness for at least 3 minutes before bed every night. This may help calm my mind so I can fall asleep quicker. If you would like to pause the recording now to use your packet, a scrap piece of paper, your calendar, or even your phone or computer, it is now going to be your turn to create a goal and schedule it into the upcoming week to improve your mental health. Remember to check progress after the week ends. Also, we encourage you to have multiple charts for various goals. Though keep in mind to only make goals for occupations or strategies that will actually be meaningful to your life. For example, don't create a goal for Tai Chi just for the sake of doing it. Also, as we continue through this series, you may notice your goals and charts start adding up. That's why we stress for you to focus on what is actually meaningful for you to do. You can always add more as you improve.
We want to thank you for viewing this recording and remind you all that if you would like more information to support your mental health journey, the Cancer Caring Center newsletter has an ongoing list of programs and counseling sessions that can help. So feel free to reach out to Wendy Myers at the Cancer Caring Center or cancercaringpgh@gmail.com for more information. Thanks, everyone.